morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, EOS, Ethereum and Ripple's XRP. We'll be looking at the moving averages, the MACDs, the daily support, resistance and pivot levels. It is Tuesday, the 8th of September. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar, we're looking at the hourly candlesticks here, slightly bearish start to the morning. Going to need to see Bitcoin avoid a pullback through the pivot at 10.246 to support a run at the first major resistance level at 10.579. Going to need to see an extended crypto rally on the day to break out from this early morning high 10.464 to break through to 10,500 levels. However, expect plenty of resistance at 10,500. Barring extended crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, once it's through 10,500, could see Bitcoin test resistance at 10,700 before any pullback. Don't expect the second major resistance level at 10,761 to come into play. Fall through the pivot level would bring the first major support level at 10,065 into play. Barring extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should steer well clear of the second major support level, sitting at 9,732. Looking at the MACD, seeing a widening of the bullish histogram, suggestive of a bullish morning ahead. Looking at the EMAs, however, we're seeing a similar trend. We're seeing the 50 narrow on the 100 and the 200, also suggesting a positive morning. So key through the early part of the day would be to avoid a pullback through to sub 10,300 and that pivot level, and a move back through to 10,500 to support an upward trend on the day. Moving across to EOS against the US dollar, it's also bearish start to the morning. Going to need to see EOS avoid a fall through the pivot at 2.8138 to support a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 2.9715. Going to need to see a broad-based crypto rally for EOS to break out from yesterday's high that was at 2.9416. So barring extended crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, got resistance at 3 and the second major resistance level at 3.0992 to prevent any breakout beyond there. Fall through the pivot level would bring the first major support level sitting at 2.6861 into play. Barring extended sell-off, EOS should avoid sub 2.6 levels. Second major support level sits at 2.5284. Looking at the MACD, we're seeing a slight narrowing of the bullish histogram, but nothing suggestive of a bearish crossover yet. On the EMA, we're seeing a slight pullback on the 50 from the 100 and 200, supporting this early morning pullback. So key through the early part of the day would be to avoid a fall through that pivot at 2.8138 and to move back through to 2.9s to support a run at that first major resistance level and 3.0 levels. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, tracking the broader market as well. Bearish start. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid a fall through the pivot at 345.18 to support a run at the 38.2% fib at 367 and the first major resistance level at 367.16. Going to need to see broad-based crypto rally for Ethereum to break back through to 360 levels, however. So barring extended crypto rally on the day, expect that 38.2% fib and the first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, got 380 levels and the second major resistance level at 380.67 that could come into play. Pullback through the pivot level would bring the first major support level at 331.7 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should continue to avoid sub 300s. Second major support level at 309 should limit any downside. Looking at the MACDs, a slight narrowing of the bullish histogram. Again, nothing suggestive of a bearish crossover. Looking at the 50 EMA, that's narrowed against the 100 and the 200. Suggestive of a bullish day ahead, so Ethereum would need to avoid a pullback through to sub 350s and that pivot level at 345 to move back through to 360s and then target that 38.2% fib and the resistance levels. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, bearish start to the morning. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP avoid a fall through the pivot at 23.83. Support a run at its first major resistance level at 24.67. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break out from yesterday's high, 0.24294. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, expect Ripple's XRP to test resistance at 0.25 before any pullback. Got the second major resistance level sitting at 0.2513. A fall through the pivot level would bring the first major support level at 0.2337 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid the second major support level sitting at 0.2254. Finally, looking at the MACD, slight narrowing of the bullish histogram, supportive of the early pullback, but nothing suggestive of a bearish crossover. And we're seeing the 50 EMA narrow against the 100 and the 200, suggestive of a bullish day ahead. So key through the morning would be to avoid a fall back through to sub 0.24s and that pivot level at 23.83. A move back through that first major resistance level would bring 0.25s into play and support a recovery of the recent losses.